Good morning. This is Dr. Bill Wyatt again with the American Orthodontic Society, and I'm going to go over a case here that we've shown in another video that's got most everything in it. I'm going to show just a few of the slides and all this. This is where a lady came in and she had one of her 6-year molars removed when she was a small child, or well, she was probably 9 or 10 or in there, and the space closed together. The other 3 are there. 2 of them had root canals and were in bad shape, and the other one was exposed nerve and was going to have root canal and probably a crown before you got through. So we decided it would be much better. And she had all of her wisdom teeth. Of course, the one that was had moved when she was early, the 2nd and 3rd molar had moved up into place, and I'll show that where we extracted, or I sent her back to her dentist, and he took out the other 3 bad 6-year molars. The 2 with the root canals, we took them out, because otherwise we'd be throwing away a good wisdom tooth back here. So let me get into this and show you why we think certain ways like that. So let me get this going. Now you have to. Here are some Biteway pictures that were taken, and she's had these 2 teeth having root canals, and they're in pretty good shape, everything, but she has an excellent wisdom tooth behind it. Here's the other tooth, and it's got the nerves exposed, and you're going to have to spend a lot of money sticking that up. So we decided to extract. Now up above, one of those was good. The 6-year molar had been removed early, and this was a second. It was coming from it was the 2nd molar and the wisdom tooth were above that one. So we're going to take these teeth out like this. Now, it's far better if you're going to close this. You're going to bring this tooth all the way up to here. If you want this to move and this not to move, you're going to have to put a little pin in here and bond this bicuspid to that pin, and then this can't come back, and these will move forward and close that. And that's what we did on one side, where we had just one tooth to come in there. Now this works great, and really this ought to be part of a diagnosis. If you're going to do orthodontics, or you're going to come back in here and fix up the back, why throw away a perfectly good wisdom tooth when you have some teeth that got root canals? Really, this should have been started years ago, before you spent the money on the root canals, everything. So let's go on to the next picture. So, actually, it would be much better if you put the bands and everything on these teeth and fix this where you're ready to go, and put your brackets and all this in here, and you extract these teeth or send her to whoever's going to do it. And the day they take the teeth out, if you really want to do the fastest thing possible for closing the teeth together, so you would have that all ready to go, and then when you went in and took the teeth out, you'd have whoever did that pack these with gauze or something, send them in to you. Now you just have to put the orthodontic appliance in here and start closing the space together. Well, we did not do that, obviously, but we started it real quick. And you start moving this tooth in here, and this one here, and over on this side, we move this back part of the way and this forward on the back, and this space was closed up kind of in between the two teeth. Over here, we think the 6-year molar was extracted real young, and then the second molar moved up, or they just moved forward, and over a period of years, the tooth will just come forward if you do it when they're real young, and you'll have this one fixed up. Now, we did a little trick right here. So you see this tooth is kind of caught with that spot right there, and if you tip this one a little bit, it'll raise this tooth, and then you can bring this tooth into the space there, and now we're going to close this. And we didn't want these teeth to move back because we were interdigitated pretty good over here on this side. So I told them to get me a pin to go in here, and actually they gave me the pin that was way too big, but I went ahead and used it anyway, and so that stopped these teeth from going back, and we put this pin in. These went back, and they moved forward kind of equal amounts, and so this side of the mouth was kind of folded back, and this one had done that a little bit. So we're going to slide now. You see how we tip this tooth, and it kicks that tooth up, and this tooth is coming underneath it there, and it's falling in place, and we're going to use that wisdom tooth to do that. And I think you look, now there's a monstrous pin. Now you put it in the cortical bone, not in the cancellous bone. So you have to get out on the side of the tooth, and this really should be about half this big, and put it down in the cortical bone, and now you bond it to this tooth right here where it won't go back, and these will come forward. We've already moved. See, this tooth was back here. We're about halfway there now, showing that. So let's go on, and that's what we did, and we went ahead and closed all this space up on this young lady, and you look at her teeth now, and I can almost guarantee you that if she goes into 10 dentists, maybe one of them would recognize that she doesn't have any 6-year molars. And this is when we put the retainer in. I put a little composite here to hold the wire to keep these teeth right at a certain level, right around there. We did that, and then we put a fixed 3-3 on the bottom arch. And here is the pictures of some of the x-rays that we took. And you'll notice that we've got a little uterus shape in this spot right there. I don't know whether we can show that. It's a little better. These x-rays, the machine we had, it would just print them out on paper, and you had to take pictures of the paper. And while I'm on this spot, moving the tooth together, like if you had a molar sitting over here and you had a bicuspid in this area, and you want to move these teeth to there, you can come right in the center of this, and then you drop and roll the wire something like that, and now you head this wire off this way. And even if you've got 2 of these molars back here, and that's a sorry root, and you put this in here, now you notice when you had this, if you leave alone sometime, these teeth will be at an angle like this. And you put this part of the wire up there, you tighten that spring. See, you come in here, you made a deal like this, and you pull it out. When you pull this up, that tightens the spring, and it wants to bring the teeth down in this direction. Now you put about a 12,000 soft stainless steel wire in, and go down. These are in the brackets back here in the back, and you run that wire around the brackets, and you pull that real tight. This wire is pulling the crown forward. This bend is making the root go forward. Like if you left it alone, the teeth would be sitting like this, but you're pulling on this. If you leave this, do away with this and just pull up here, then you got the teeth leaning this way. You put the two together, and you can bring the teeth back bodily. And that's how we do that now. We used to put tip in the wire and a lot of things, but you can bring these teeth back. And then if you put a pin in here in the cortical bone and bond this tooth to it, this will end up right up in here, something like that. And that just moves this forward. So that's the way we move teeth in one direction and keep them parallel as we come in. The roots will be lined up. There's no sense in leaning it over otherwise. Thank you. I think that's the end of this. Let's go ahead. And here is the young lady. And let's see. And that's the way her teeth look. And they couldn't be a whole lot better than that. And these are actually second molars and wisdom teeth back in this area. So thank you for watching, and I hope you'll try this. It really works. And if you start moving the tooth into the space before the body actually will close that gap up, it'll have just a knife edge ridge. Then it's real hard to close it all together. So I'm going to sign out and thank you again for watching, and we'll check this out.